This video is all about the different types of interviews that you might face in the recruitment process. The first one that we want to focus on are telephone interviews. Now, these have come back into fashion. Lots of recruiters are using them again. The reason is because they're usually quite quick. They're an easy way to see whether you are as good as you made out on the initial application. They're usually about 20 or 25 minutes long, and they do cover things like, why do you want to work for us? Tell us about your teamwork skills and things like that, just to kind of get a sense of whether you match the job. So the best thing to do to prepare is to do all your homework and be ready as if you were going for that interview in person. Do your preparation, know why you want to work for the company, and just go for it.
And now we're going to talk about video interviews. So video interviews are a really common step in the recruitment process, and employers can use this as a step before inviting you to a final stage in-person interview or an assessment centre. So it's really important with your video interviews that you make sure that your internet connection is stable and working. You also need to make sure that you are looking presentable, but not just yourself. Make sure that your background is looking organised and tidy. And obviously in a video interview, your eye contact will become your camera. So do make sure that you are engaging and looking at your camera, as this will be how employers will see if you're engaging and focusing in the interview.
The next type of interview is the actual face-to-face interview. So these interviews are almost considered the old-fashioned type, but they are used by almost every employer. And this is your chance to really make a positive impression. And so if you're going into their offices or wherever they're having those interviews, a positive first impression is really key. It's your decision whether you want to do a handshake, but smiling and having good eye contact is really important. Even before the interview day, make sure you know how to get there, that you've understood what the bus routes are. If you have any issues with getting there, please contact the employer themselves and ask for some advice. Thirdly, make sure you're really professional and polite to everyone you meet on the day, because you don't know where the feedback is coming from on that day too. And then of course, most important is to do your preparation, be clear about how to use the STAR model, and we'll talk about that in another video, but also make sure that you've got a nice range of examples from your academic life, your work experience, your personal life, that you can show an employer that you really understand what your transferable skills are.
And so those are all the most common types of interviews that you will probably come across. But do remember, if you happen to need any reasonable adjustments at all for any of these interviews, then just contact the employer ahead of time to let them know. And obviously in preparation for any interview, please do make sure to look at all of our resources online on our website. For more information on this topic and to access all of the great resources that we have, please look at the links in the description.